Good evening, friends. Hello, friends. Good evening once again. We
Good
meet.
evening.
Good evening. We meet in the evening session of the online need-based training workshop, Panchkula cluster. Once again, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Madam Nisha Patient and our principal, ma'am, Mrs. Jaya Bhardwaj, Hansraj Public School. So, before starting the session, let us start once again with the chanting of the Gayatri Mantra. Om. So, friends, we meet again, and I had a wonderful time in the morning. I hope all of you also. I won't say had a good time. We were not really having some kind of fun session, but yes, I hope we all learned from each other. My evening session, Know Your Learner, is about use of multiple intelligence in teaching of English. A very important point we came upon in the morning when we talked about creating a conducive learning environment was that every student comes with his own brand of genius, which meant that every student has a specific quality, maybe one, maybe more, and it is for us to understand that quality of that child and to use it for the benefit of that child. Before we move on with the session, let us watch something.
Ma'am, your voice is not audible.
Yes, ma'am?
Sorry, ma'am, your voice is not audible. The video cannot be heard by us.
Okay, just let me see. Let me see. Let me just pause it and see. Yes, ma'am, you can't hear the video?
Yes, ma'am. We
Uh,
can't.
Yes, ma'am, we can't hear the video.
can you, I think you should join through your audio. See on your system. See if you can hear it. I'll just play it again.
Um, ma'am, in fact, nobody can hear, so that's why. I think
Okay,
it's from your side.
just a minute. Just a minute. Uh, it seems there may be some technical problem. Uh, no, but I think nobody can hear it. So, okay. Um, we'll forgo the video, ma'am, and let me tell you the story quickly. It is about this little boy. As you can make out, he used to tap his feet. He used to tap them regularly, and most of the time he would not be appreciated by his class because it was always considered. I hope I'm audible, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Now
Yes,
you are
ma'am.
audible.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You know, he was never really appreciated because he was thought to be making noise. And one day, you must have had some children in your class, ma'am, who are always tapping their feet or playing some kind of a drum or tabla or something on the table. And it's sometimes very annoying. So he too had a teacher who who asked him to stay back in class one day, and he later on, obviously the boy was scared, he thought he would be in trouble, but later on he was handed over a pair of drumsticks by his teacher. And Mr. Clint, the one who was narrating his, it is a true incident, it is his personal experience. He has gone on to become one of the greatest drummers of the US. And it's not that he didn't do well in his studies, but it was that confidence which was instilled in him by his teacher, Mr. Jensen, The name of the video was Let Us Find the Mr. Jensen Within, because it is very important for all of us to find that Mr. Jensen within. You know, we at times it's annoying at times when some children want to always go out and play. Some children don't want to really participate. We feel they are not participating in the class. But friends, most of the time, the thing is that at that time, that child needs that particular break. If I talk to you about, my personal experience, I'll be telling you during the session. So let us start with the session, Know Your Learner, Multiple Intelligence to Enhance Learning. First of all, if we see this picture, they say a picture says 1,000 words. Yes, ma'am, can anyone tell me what you feel about this picture? Anyone? It says for a fair selection, everybody has to take the same exam. Please climb that tree. And you can see this whole range of animals who are there. Don't you think we are all doing the same thing? Yes, ma'am?
Everyone's capacity is different.
Yes, yes. That is what we have to understand. Though I know that, most of the time as teachers, we are bound by the syllabus, we are bound by time. But we always have a little window period in our teaching where we have to realize uh, I won't say intelligence exactly, but what does the child like to do? What is it that keeps him going? So, if all of them had to climb this tree, most of them would fail. That's exactly what Einstein has also said, that you can't judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree. We have to understand what is intelligence. Do we really know what is intelligence? Is there any parameter of measuring intelligence? And also, are we actually able to assess something called as abstract as intelligence in the right manner? Are we doing the right thing? Are we teaching our children in the correct manner? So we move on to understand, actually, we move on to revisit the theory of Howard Gardner, multiple intelligence, because intelligence is 360-degree. Intelligence, it's the holistic development, the personality of a child which constitutes to the intelligence. Here you can see there are 8 types of intelligence which are mentioned. I will be taking them up one by one, and I will be discussing a few activities related to the English subject, how we can conduct those activities. Verbal linguistic intelligence. Now, verbal linguistic, I call them the weavers, those who weave with words, those who weave words into stories, into experiences. They weave and they make interesting things. They are very happy with words, with their skills of languages. They like to read and write, and they love to tell stories. They are sensitive to the structure of language, and they also want to know how words function. Such children are very good at playing crosswords. And also another very important thing, yes, vocabulary activities, they really enjoy playing. Activities of dumb charades, which can be taken up. You can give them a new word. You can ask them to, enact that word. It adds a lot of fun to the class, and you can divide it into a simple, take up words. You can take up a theme. You can even take up a grammar exercise. You can say, okay, if it's a thumbs down, it's a noun. If it's a thumbs up, it's a, let us say it is a verb, or and so on. And for grammar exercises, concept mapping, very interesting, very colorful, and students are very happy doing it, because again, it is breaking the monotony of the teaching, regular teaching. Word games like new day, new word. Now out here, what we can do is we can ask them to just come up with one word every day, or even better, as a teacher, you can have a bucket of words. You can call it your bucket list, you can call it the word soup, you can give it as interesting a name as you want, and you can just have the students pick up a word. It can start from the meaning of the word, moving on to giving further synonyms, then the usage of the word, then the grammatical concept, construction of sentences, and later on it can be also made into a group activity, putting the words together and framing short stories. So it all depends on the creativity of the teacher, how much she can go ahead with the use of the language. oral presentations, twist the tail, parliaments, debates, all of these activities, they are found to be very interesting by the students who show verbal linguistic inclination. Logical mathematical intelligence. I would call them the Ramanujans of the school. We all have them. And these children, they love to know the mysteries. They are very intrigued by what happened next. They love to predict. Such children, they're very fond of horoscopes. So we can use all these things effectively to generate interest in the subject. Now, if I take up the first point, sensitive to logical patterns and relationships, we all have the verbal ability test where you have the relationship quiz, and you have to A is the father of B, B is the son of C. Then let us see what is the relation between A and C. So these kind of quiz can be given. It's not necessary, friends, that every time we have to pay attention that what English is being learned, because everything that is being learned, if it is being learned in English, definitely it is making a difference in their learning. Quiz, crossword, playing Scrabble. You can even introduce a lot of board games for these children. Any kind of game which is played on the board can be taken up for a grammar concept or for a vocabulary theme. And let us see what are the suggested activities which are possible for these children. Problem solving. They like to predict what will happen next. So they should, they can be given stories. They can be given mystery stories. Sherlock Holmes, they could be reading Agatha Christie. They could be reading Nancy Drews, and of course, age-appropriate literature. And you can tell them to read a part of it, take away the rest of it, and ask them to predict what happened. This will help them build their language, so writing skills, thinking skills, creative skills. Then connecting of the clues. You can play a game where the students can be given clues. You can play it in a group where clues can be put in various ends. It can be called a modern day treasure hunt, and students are asked to then put the clues together. Now, to be more creative, we can have some mistakes, grammatical mistakes in the clues. We can move on to the editing and errors and omission exercise within this clues exercise which we are playing with them. Once they have put all the grammatical concepts and the vocabulary together, they can then piece the story together and then move on to completing the story. Again, the story can be taken forward where students can be asked to narrate the story, thus enhancing the speaking skills. Now, critical thinking. Now, this is a very interesting activity. Analyze similarities and differences of various pieces of literature. We all are teaching Ruskin Bond and R.K. Narayan. There is a lot of similarity between both their writings because they have children as their characters. But also there are lots of differences. So these children, they love to do this find the difference activities. They love to do find the similarity activities, and thus again they can be encouraged to use a lot of grammatical structures in framing of the sentences while they are doing the activities. Visual spatial intelligence. Those who have strong visual memory and are very, very artistic. So these children are always very helpful when they have to decorate. They are very happy making charts. If I take the second point, they're sensitive to colors, shapes, forms, and space. Yes, friends, which character does this remind you of? We all are teaching this. Class 7. Can I have a quick response? Which character? Somebody?
Manjula.
Yes,
Manjula.
absolutely.
Manjula.
Yes. Manjula.
Manjula.
Yes, ma'am. Manjula, because there also she always lived in that area because she had her own world of colors and shapes and a world which she thought was perfect. So probably now if we relate the concept, but Manjula had visual spatial intelligence. They love to design and draw. They imagine a lot of things. Even when they are reading a story, they prefer to visualize that story. If you remember in the Stormy Adventure, there is a paragraph how the sea became very, it rose with enormity. And there is
Those are high.
yes, the waves were high, and how the ship was tossing from one. So if you ask the
Goes
children,
down
yes, yes,
mercilessly.
yes, yes, ma'am. Wonderful. So this is the quality of these children. You ask them to shut their eyes and they start imagining. They create a visual picture of that scene or whatever they are listening to. They are very good with presenting, making presentations, presenting shows, clicking photographs. Now clicking photographs is a very interesting activity. I have done this activity with my students and I have taken it to the level of sharing it on an international platform where my students interacted with, in the ISA project, they interacted with a school in South Korea. We clicked a few photographs of our culture. They clicked a few. We exchanged those pictures. We had made video recordings. The students spoke about those pictures, and it was a beautiful activity, a way to get to know each other's culture. Kinesthetic intelligence. Some of the children just don't want to sit. Do we all have some students in the class who want to go to the washroom at every period? Isn't it? Ma'am, can I go to the washroom? Ma'am, can I go and have some water? We all know that it is not the washroom or the water, it is that bodily movement of that child which is very important. That child wants to move, that child wants activity. Now imagine if we are asked to sit for 6 hours on a wooden bench without moving, with finger on our lips. And as teachers, sometimes we become cruel and we are constantly asking children, just keep quiet and sit down. But they also want an experience. They want to know why they are here. So we can involve them with small things. I remember when I was teaching younger classes, it was raining very heavily. And, it had just rained, it had stopped raining, and our semester exams were about to start. My students needed to revise opposites. So, what did we do? We made paper boats. I took special permission from my coordinator. We made paper boats. We floated the words in the paper boat. Whoever would get that paper boat would answer the question. Of course, this activity is something for younger ones, but we can come up with creative activities for the age group we all are teaching also. Role play is a very interesting activity because out here brainstorming, movement, they're preparing props, they are practicing, and it's that general feeling of free period which all the children get, which they love to get. So, activities for such children, dancing. Now, based on various grammar concepts. Now, suppose I have to prepare a dance, and instead of numbering my rows as 1, 2, and 3, why don't I number them as simple sentence, complex sentence, phrases, clauses, prepositions, verbs, adverbs, transitive, intransitive? Why not do it this way? Why not, when I tell them, okay, now the transitive verbs have to come forward, now these verbs have to move back, now the phrases have to do this. Now what is happening in this whole concept, that this whole uh, concepts of grammar, they are getting ingrained in the children. They can play around, they are learning grammar in a playful manner. Then taking our children for field trips. All children love to do it. Every time we take our children for field trips, we club it as an educational trip. Once they come back, they get a worksheet. They have to do that worksheet, and also it is taken up as a creative writing and speaking activity in school. So something like this can also be fun for the children. And you can add on to it that students can be asked to paste the pictures which they found interesting, or maybe narrate some interesting incident what happened. So because this is something which is a bit away from the regular learning, so therefore even the shy ones won't mind coming forward and discussing all these things with us. And of course, sequencing a story, very interesting. Again, the same. So friends, you will realize a lot of activities might be repeated because every child has a group of intelligences, a lot of intelligences put together. It's not one single intelligence, it's many intelligence together. And then role play, very interesting, as we have discussed just right now, how role play adds to the bodily kinesthetic experience of the child. Musical intelligence. Just like that little child in the video, which we couldn't see because of the technical glitch. Uh, some children, they love that rhythm and music. they love poetry, they love sound, they love uh, whistling. I have a student in my class. He had to prepare a play, and he asked me before performing, he said, ma'am, I have prepared my play in two ways. How should I present it? The one with the whistle or the one without the whistle? Because he had just learned to whistle. I realized that he wanted to actually whistle in the class. Now, obviously, otherwise, as a rule, children are not supposed to whistle in the class. But I knew that if he wasn't allowed to whistle, he would miss out on all the fun of the activity. So I just told him, I said, okay, you perform the one where you have learned, where you have to whistle. And just with the idea that he could whistle in front of the teacher, he could whistle loud in the class, and he would not be, scolded for any such thing. He performed very well. And then, uh, how many of you, ma'am, let's be honest, do you tap your feet while when you're listening to something important? Is there anyone who taps their feet or their finger or any such thing, or even the clicking of the pen? All these sounds, we create sounds to learn. We create because we are relating our learning to that sound. Sometimes it's that atmosphere we are creating, and that learning is taking place. So such children, again, we need to guide them. We can't allow this to happen continuously, but yes, they need to be guided, they need to be told where to stop. I'm sure all of you have heard of the verb rap. It's very popular on the YouTube. So it's a very interesting way to teach verbs. You can, I've heard the verb rap, simple verb rap, even the one with regular verbs, irregular verbs, because this is an important lesson in class 6 English practice book, regular and irregular verbs. So here verb rap can be used. Then these children love to present poetry. They love to uh, present it in a lyrical manner, in a melodious manner. They're very good at elocution. Then, in today's time, friends, podcast and radio jockey. It is a very interesting activity which is possible for our children. We do have radio jockey presentations in our school, and our children, our plays and our speeches, they have gone online, and our children are doing very well. And believe me, as English teachers, you will never have problem in teaching them literary devices, because otherwise it is next to impossible. I'm sure all of you can agree with me when it comes to teaching rhyme scheme. It is extremely important, difficult to teach rhyme scheme to them, because that concept of A B B or A B C D. Because if you just leave it to them, they just go on to A B C D E F G H. They carry on like this. So in this way, you can take up various activities. Interpersonal intelligence. The people, the friendly ones, the ones where you feel you can always go to them for help, you can always depend on them. So these children, they love to lead, they love to organize their work, and they are very good at reading body language. Many times we can make out what a person is feeling or going through just by reading the body language of that person. So these people are the ones, those who show interpersonal intelligence are the ones who can read the body language very well. Now, these people, they are good with conflict resolution. They are good at taking interviews, communication skills, organizing things, and as leaders. Okay, friends, just a minute. I'll pause for a second. I have posted the link for the feedback form. I request all the participants to please fill that link also. Okay, so we move further. Okay, so we have paired and group activities for these children, like collage making and role play. Again, if you see, role play is coming in again and again in most of the intelligence levels, because role play is it's a comprehensive activity. It is a mix of lots and lots of efforts which have to go in to make the role play a success. Then communication. You can hold dialogues in the class. It's a very easy way of teaching narration also. You can ask them to first construct the dialogues, or you can ask them to complete the dialogues, and you can ask other students to change that direct speech into indirect speech. Like somebody is holding a dialogue, and after that you can say that, okay, what did they say? So now the child will say it into indirect speech. Fostering a study buddy. So when children help each other to learn things, they guide each other. These activities are also very interesting for the children. Other activities like dumb charades, passing the parcel, treasure hunt. Now, treasure hunt I have mentioned earlier also. Again, it can be used to play vocabulary or grammar games. Earlier, we had discussed it for story games, putting the story together. Naturalistic intelligence. These children, they love to be in nature. They love to study about nature. They love to, they love to talk about pets. So stories of Ruskin Bond are always very intriguing for such. They love to read Ruskin Bond stories. If you ask anybody about, maybe Tutu the monkey or Attila the dog, they are very happy relating such stories because they themselves can relate to such experiences. They display deep sensitivity to plant and animal life. So they love to take up topics of global warming, save water, save the trees. All these activities, they are very happy to even enact them as role play. We can again encourage them to click photos and prepare a writing activity. It can be taken up as a speaking activity as well. Then nature walks, all activities, friends, if you have realized, all the activities which I have mentioned here are the ones where their children are getting an experience and they are then asked to speak or write about it. Third one is very interesting. Understand the influence of the environment on the creative expression of an author. Like whenever we talk about Ruskin Bond, we always talk about his early life and the deep impact his living on the hills has made and how it reflects in his stories. So these kind of things can be always taken up as discussion and for teaching of the language. Stories like Panchtantra, the animal farm, and all the teachers, I'm sure you can relate to the fable, the spider and the fly. Yes, ma'am? Yes, ma'am. Can you all relate to it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. We always do that.
Okay. Now, the intrapersonal, students who like to stay just about themselves. They don't really like to, we consider them as shy, but these are actually the strong ones who know their strengths and weaknesses and they know what they want. They know what motivates them, but they like to stay on their own. They prefer to work alone and they like to reflect on their own work. Now, how can their intelligence be put to good use? They are very happy writing journals and diaries. The research students, the ones who will move on to do the PhD, these are the ones who will, I'm not saying others can't do it, but definitely these also will be able to do it very well because they love to get immersed in research, in exploration, in journals, in reading and reflecting upon it. So all of that makes a huge impact on their intelligence. Okay, teachers, quickly just go through these two activities and quickly in the chat box, please post what do you think is the intelligence which is required, which will be used in activity 1 and activity 2. Teachers? Yes, ma'am. Am I audible? Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
okay,
ma'am.
ma'am. Okay. Quickly, just go through these activities and see what do you think is the intelligence which is highlighted in these activities. Hina Srivastav, ma'am, you have requested for the feedback form. I have sent it. Okay, ma'am, have you been able to do it? Should we move further? Because we're running out of time. So I think, okay. I'm moving to the next slide. Let us see. All of you can match your answers with the answers on the slide. activity 1, piece by piece. Now in this activity where they had to put pieces together, which had sequencing as a major activity, that involves, is anybody's answer matching with the first one? Yes, ma'am. Is there anyone whose answer matches? Mathematical, logical intelligence, visual spatial intelligence, and verbal linguistic intelligence. Natasha, ma'am, is your answer matching? Hina, ma'am? Okay. Activity 2, you can read. This activity is enjoyed most by students who have bodily kinesthetic intelligence and need to move. Also, students with interpersonal intelligence benefit from the interaction with others, where they had to toss the ball at each other and frame questions. So it allows a lot of bodily movement.
This is matching with mine, ma'am.
Yes,
Natasha
ma'am.
here.
May I know your name?
This is my Natasha, ma'am.
Okay, that's
It is
one.
matching with mine.
Okay, that's wonderful, ma'am. And there are some other activities which I have mentioned here: role play, storytelling, writing of acronyms, making of PPTs. We have just discussed in the throughout the session how these. See, you can see one activity has so many intelligence. If I just take up role play, it has verbal linguistic, it has logical, it has kinesthetic, visual, spatial, intrapersonal, interpersonal, and music. So it is important for us to understand our students and then cater according to their needs, because that's what our job is. Okay, so now here you can see some activities which have been taken up in our school. This is a writing activity. The topic was Van Mahotsav, as you can see on the blackboard. We created a word wall where few words. This activity was conducted after we finished doing the poem, Birdie Will You Pet. So you can see some words which are there on top: freedom, forest, priceless, and 2, 3 more. And then the students had to provide more words for it. After that, a brainstorming session was conducted in the class where students came up with ideas, and then they went on to write about it and also speak about it. You can see the placards which have been displayed. These placards were also made by the students where they carried out a rally for the Van Mahotsav. So a simple writing activity has a mix of so many intelligences, as you can see. These are some more activities which we have been conducting in school. A simple paragraph writing. If you can see the hamburger model. Because whenever we are teaching the children, we have to reach out to them according to how they are. You can see how models can be taught through concept maps. Then time management. We had just done the poem Today and Tomorrow. After that, we did a speaking activity on time management. This web chart was prepared with the help of the students. It was put on the board and they had to get up and speak about it. And teaching of literary devices. As also you can see, friends, there is a lot of art integration along with the presentation of the work. Then out here, the white elephant. This is writing of the story review. They could make a picture and then write about it. Then mind maps, thrill in school life. You can see all these activities which have been conducted in the school, and we have been quite successful, and our students have been really enjoying themselves learning, putting all these activities in place. Thank you, friends. I hope I have been able to share something with you. Now it's time for the queries and interaction. Yes, ma'am. I hope everybody has filled up the chat box, the feedback form. Yes, ma'am.
Just fill it.
Okay, ma'am. In the meantime, let me just see the chat box if there is any query, or actually we can even interact in person if there is any question, ma'am. Anybody? Anyone? Should I try once again with the video? Do you wish to see that little film? Okay, let me just give it a quick try. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. We'll
Yeah.
just.
Yes. In the meantime, you can also fill up the this thing feedback
Done,
form.
ma'am.
Yes,
All the
ma'am.
people.
Okay. You can just let me see if I can help you with the
This
video.
session was awesome, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Aarti, ma'am, this session was awesome. I loved it.
Thank you. May I know, ma'am, who I'm talking to?
I'm Natasha Sood from CLDAV.
Okay. Okay. Ma'am, can you hear me now? Can you hear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is the video audible?
No,
No,
the video is not
Not audible.
audible.
Okay, so then it's no
No,
use playing
ma'am.
it. Okay, okay. Maybe I can share the video otherwise with you all because I found it very interesting and I thought that we all should watch it, or it's available on YouTube. If you wish, you may watch it from there. Yes, ma'am. Any suggestions, anybody? Anyone? Yes, ma'am. Anything? So, before winding up, we meet tomorrow again. We meet in the morning at 9:30, where ma'am, you can put on your videos, everybody. I can click a nice picture out here. I need to take some pictures also that we all are in session. Yes, ma'am. Okay. We have been attending a lot of workshops together also. So it's nice to meet you like this. And again, I'm repeating, your suggestions are most welcome, ma'am. Hina ma'am, hello. Now when I see you, I can recognize all of you. Sometimes, we might not recognize a person by the name, but when I see everyone, yes, I think we have all been interacting. Maybe one odd one we may not have interacted, but most of us have met earlier. Ma'am, there are so
Yes,
many
ma'am.
seniors who are sitting here. Any suggestions, anything which will help all of us? Anyone, ma'am? Hina ma'am,
It was wonderful, Aarti, ma'am.
thank you so much. Hina ma'am, you are not audible. Hina ma'am, please unmute yourself.
It was very informative session, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. So much, thank you. Anything else, ma'am? So tomorrow's session is about touch the horizons, motivation and skill enhancement. Ma'am, I would request all of you to have some activities in your mind so that whatever time we'll have, we can take up a few activity and we can have a quick discussion about those activities. Simple things done in a different way, how we all are doing it, so that we all can learn from each other. Yes. Anjana ma'am. Yes, Anjana ma'am. Anything from your side? Ma'am, I think आप सब mute पे हैं. You are on mute.
Yes, ma'am. It was very informative session and things. And we are already practicing all these things in the class.
Yes, ma'am.
Still, it was refreshing all these
Yes,
things.
that's
Thank you
exactly
so
what I said, that we are here to just revisit all the work that we are doing, because we have to keep reminding ourselves, we have to keep practicing everything, and that is the reason why we have this workshop, so that we all can revisit and maybe reflect upon something which we may be missing out for whatever reasons. Again, I would say in a rush to complete the syllabus, but while completing the syllabus also, we can always take up activities which can be creative and which can break the monotony of a regular classroom. So that is the main aim of activity-based learning, that a child gets an experience, because whenever a child, there is that saying that when you make me do it, I will never forget it. So, though we are in a bit of a situation right now, I can't make you do anything. We can't do anything together as such. That is why that little, I would say, I'm not really, I'm feeling that next time whenever we interact, we are able to conduct activities also and learn better. Because whenever we present ourselves, it also helps us, break that public shyness, which some of us also might be feeling. Okay, friends, then see you tomorrow morning at 9:30. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.